Just as your physical body has an individualized DNA composition, maybe you are partly Spanish, partly German, and a bunch of other parts you are not even completely sure of. Your soul is a unique combination of archetypes. Each soul is made up of many archetypes, and there are hundreds to choose from. However, after intuitive reading on hundreds of people, I noticed that some archetypes appear systematically. Read the descriptions below and see if one or two of them dominate you. Familiarizing yourself with the main archetypes of your soul will help you find greater happiness, stay on purpose, and be more attentive to the dark or difficult aspects of your higher self. 1. The warrior. The warrior is strong in this one. Isn't that something you could imagine Yoda saying about Princess Leia? Warriors can take risks, although as they get older, they are slower to draw their swords and go into battle for no good reason and with no solid plan. Warriors may find themselves defending the oppressed, reinventing their careers from scratch, or going through particularly difficult life obstacles. Warriors have a code: fight for what is right and never surrender. This can be a problem when it comes to surrendering, such as accepting a chronic diagnosis or ending a relationship. Warriors also tend to be autonomous to a fault, hiding their wounds and being dishonest about the help they need from others. I often tell customers with this archetype to remove the armor and touch their soft sides. Be proud if you have this archetype, but don't forget to also show vulnerability. 2. The free spirit. It's a beautiful archetype with a bad rap. Are friends and family always on you to settle in, get up, and start living a normal life? I tell clients with a predominant free spirit archetype to become familiar with the fact that they might not fit into the 9-to-5 routine, that they have a lot of interests and passions, and that they like to travel or move. If you are a free spirit, celebrate your unconventionality. Free spirits know that happiness is more important than coloring inside the lines, and we need more unconventional people to defy the norms of society. The dark side of this archetype is the tendency to become ungrounded. Like a balloon dancing in the sky delighting those below, free spirits will literally fly away unless you tie their ropes to the ground. My other free spirit advice is, be yourself. Value responsibility, but don't let anyone keep you from moving or weaken your bright light. 3. The healer. It is an interesting archetype because you don't have to be a professional healer to own it. Do people come to you, professionally or personally, in times of crisis? Are you a good problem solver? Are you great at making people quieter, stronger, inspired, or more grounded? Do you like helping those in need? Healers are generally highly competent and responsible people with a strong work ethic and a strong purpose. It is this feeling of being called to their work that gives healers great job satisfaction, but it can also lead to burnout. Healers need to know when to focus on taking care of themselves. True healers are not scared of going to dark places with someone in their care, whether it is through a terminal diagnosis with a patient, helping a client clear ghosts or other unwanted energy from their home, or by counseling someone through the grieving process. But for this reason, healers must maintain very healthy emotional, energetic, and physical limits. 4. The teacher/student. Often these are listed as two separate archetypes, but as another psychic pointed out to me, all the best teachers are lifelong students. Teachers/students are usually people who always attend workshops, receive additional training for their work, or learn a new foreign language just for fun. Teachers/students love to read and consider knowledge sacred. Souls of the teacher/students archetype can become very bored and even depressed if they are not intellectually challenged enough. These archetypes may lose their love of teaching if the material or the way in which it is presented has become rote. These people are often very successful, and although they may be intellectually brilliant, they should beware of living too much in their heads. If your soul has a strong inclination towards this archetype, enter the energy of your heart and explore your emotions or start a spiritual practice that is based more on feeling than on knowledge. Colleagues or peers who share similar interests can become valuable friends for people from this archetype, so it's a good idea to attend regular conferences or other events where like-minded souls meet. 5. The artist. Within the artist's archetype, there is also a distinct performer archetype. After all, not all artists like being on stage or even in the public eye, and not all artists are in the arts. Think of CEOs or politicians. Likewise, not all artists will want or even want to make a living from their art. Artists don't need anyone's permission to start creating, it's in their soul's DNA to do it. Some of my clients have solid artist archetypes but will never make this commercial leap. They are housewives or businessmen who are extremely creative and just have to honor that side of themselves. If you constantly feel the need to create, allow yourself time in your schedule and designate a space in your home for creative activities. Enter your garage to paint quietly on a Saturday afternoon, or get up early in the morning to spend an hour at your bedroom desk writing your novel. Artists are very sensitive to beauty and can also be sensitive to their work. Be careful not to criticize too strongly or to judge yourself too harshly. 6. The activist/instigator. In this time of change and cultural revolution, many activists and instigators are entering the global playground. This is why I want to discuss these two archetypes together. You will know that you are an instigator if you tend to say and do things that get people talking or cause a strong reaction in others. Instigators cannot have any filters and may even like to make comments that provoke deliberately. Activists will also say things that could step on someone's toes or say embarrassing truths if it is to advance a cause close to their hearts. Activists may seem very harsh, but underneath it all, they have a huge heart that drives their work. Activists and instigators can face their own version of burnout, becoming so disillusioned that their message is not heard that they give up or give way to bitter pessimism. Like healers, activists and instigators often feel a calling, whether they volunteer part-time at an animal shelter or sit on the board of a large organization like Greenpeace. If you have a dominant activist archetype, remember that any effort to enlighten society, no matter how small, counts for a lot. 7. The priest/priestess, nun/monk. Slightly different from the mystic archetype or the seeker archetype, nuns/monks and priests/priestesses are people who have generally taken holy orders in previous lives. Whether they are part of an official pagan, Buddhist, or Christian religion, or any other religion organized with certain principles and rules, these souls had devoted a past life to this particular spiritual path and generally made great sacrifices there. Many people with this archetype do not accept formal sacred orders this life, yet they might aspire to be part of a spiritual community or to engage in spiritual activities. In some cases, their past lives of holy orders were too restrictive, so these people may not belong to any particular faith during this lifetime, instead of activating their seeker archetype and exploring many faiths. People with the nun/monk archetype can have very sensitive nervous systems and find calm, order, and routine quite calming and stimulating. They can also be very humble and concerned about the needs of the less fortunate. Souls with the priest/priestess archetype are used to being leaders and assuming a certain amount of power. However, in this life, they could choose to lead and create a community by opening a bookstore specializing in mystical arts instead of running a large pagan circle. Advice to nuns/monks: do not hide. Ask for what you want. Priests/priestesses, make sure that the role you take on gives you enough power to satisfy this archetype. Thank author Tanya Carroll Richardson is a professional intuitive and spiritual author who is passionate about angels, beauty, and nature.
If you want to uncover what has been encoded in your destiny when you were born, there's a free, personalized numerology report you can grab here.